After 60, osteoarthritis is often misunderstood as a one-way road toward limitation, but in reality, it is more like a message from the body asking for a different strategy. The hips and knees have carried decades of responsibility walking, lifting, climbing, standing, and over time the cartilage within these joints may thin or become less resilient. Yet cartilage is living tissue. It does not have its own direct blood supply, which means it depends on movement to receive nourishment. When a joint gently compresses and decompresses during controlled activity, synovial fluid circulates and delivers nutrients to the cartilage surface. Without movement, that nourishment slows, stiffness increases, discomfort becomes more noticeable. The tragedy is not aging itself, but the fear-driven inactivity that often follows a diagnosis. Smarter movement does not mean harder movement. It means understanding that the muscles surrounding the hip and knee act as shock absorbers. When these muscles weaken, more mechanical stress shifts directly onto the joint surfaces. This can amplify pain and create a feeling of instability. But when muscles are strengthened gradually and safely, they begin sharing the load again. The joint feels supported. Even small improvements in muscle tone can significantly reduce pressure inside the knee and hip. This is why gentle strength training is so powerful after 60. It rebuilds protection around vulnerable areas. There is also a neurological component. Pain changes how we move. We begin guarding the joint, shortening our steps, avoiding bending, and relying more heavily on one side of the body. Over time, this compensation creates imbalance and further stiffness. Smart exercise retrains the brain as much as the muscles. Slow, controlled repetitions restore coordination. The nervous system learns that movement is safe again. Confidence gradually replaces hesitation. Consistency becomes the true medicine. Occasional intense workouts can irritate aging joints, but daily moderate activity provides a steady biological signal. Joints thrive on rhythm. Gentle walking, supported squats, seated leg extensions, and controlled hip movements create circulation without overwhelming tissues. The goal is not to eliminate every sensation of discomfort, but to reduce inflammation and improve function over time. Mild, manageable effort often produces better long-term results than aggressive pushing. It is also important to recognize that aging does not erase the body's ability to adapt. Research repeatedly shows that muscle strength can improve well into the 7th and 8th decades of life. When muscles grow stronger, balance improves. When balance improves, fear decreases. When fear decreases, overall movement becomes smoother and more natural. This positive cycle stands in contrast to the downward spiral of inactivity. Osteoarthritis after 60 is not a sentence of fragility. It is an invitation to refine how you move, how you train, and how you listen to your body. Smarter exercise respects limitations while steadily expanding capacity. It focuses on alignment, control, and gradual progression. With patience and regular practice, the hips and knees can feel more stable, more supported, and more capable than they have in years. Light daily strength training is one of the most powerful tools available for anyone over 60 dealing with osteoarthritis of the hips and knees, yet it is often underestimated because it looks simple. Movements like sit-to stands, mini squats, leg raises, and balance practice may not appear dramatic, but their impact on joint health is profound. These exercises target the muscles that act as natural stabilizers and shock absorbers, reducing the direct load placed on vulnerable joint surfaces. When the quadriceps at the front of the thigh are strong, they help control knee bending and absorb force during walking or standing. When the glute muscles in the hips are active, they stabilize the pelvis and prevent excess strain from transferring down into the knees. Sit-to stands are especially valuable because they mimic a movement performed many times each day. Rising from a chair requires coordination between hips, knees, and core muscles. Practicing this motion slowly and with control retrains proper alignment. Pressing through the heels engages the glutes, while maintaining an upright chest protects the lower back. Over time, what once felt difficult becomes smoother. The nervous system learns efficiency. Muscles respond by becoming stronger and more responsive. Many squats performed while holding onto a stable surface provide another layer of support. They allow the knees to bend within a comfortable range without excessive pressure. This controlled bending stimulates circulation inside the joint and encourages synovial fluid movement, which helps nourish cartilage. Because the range is small, the risk of aggravating pain is minimized. Consistency matters more than depth. A slight bend performed daily can do more for joint health than a deep squat performed occasionally. Leg raises. Whether done seated or lying down, strengthen the quadriceps without forcing the knee into heavy load-bearing positions. This is particularly helpful for individuals who experience discomfort during full weight-bearing exercises. By tightening the thigh muscle and lifting the leg slowly, the muscle fibers are activated and trained to support the joint more effectively. Stronger quadriceps translate into reduced stress across the knee joint during everyday activities. Balance practice may seem unrelated to arthritis at first glance, but it plays a critical role in joint protection. Standing on one leg while holding a counter challenges the small stabilizing muscles around the hip and knee. It also sharpens communication between the brain and body. Improved balance reduces the likelihood of falls and prevents sudden, uncontrolled movements that could irritate joints. Confidence increases as stability improves, and that confidence encourages more natural movement throughout the day. The beauty of light daily strength training lies in its sustainability. It does not demand extreme effort or long sessions. 10 to 20 minutes of focused practice can create measurable improvements over weeks and months. Because the exercises are low impact, they can be repeated frequently without overwhelming recovery capacity. Over time, muscles grow stronger, joint stress decreases, and movement feels less threatening. What begins as a cautious routine gradually transforms into a foundation of stability and renewed self-trust. A simple anti-inflammatory diet becomes a quiet but powerful ally in protecting aging hips and knees, especially after 60 when recovery process is naturally slow. Food is more than fuel. It is biological information that influences inflammation, tissue repair, muscle preservation, and even pain perception. Osteoarthritis is not only a mechanical issue inside the joint, it also has an inflammatory component. When the body is exposed to excess processed sugars, refined carbohydrates, and heavily fried foods, inflammatory markers can rise. This does not mean food alone causes arthritis, but it can intensify the discomfort associated with it. Choosing whole, nutrient-dense foods sends a different signal, one of support, balance, and repair. Colorful vegetables and fruits provide antioxidants that help neutralize oxidative stress within the body. Leafy greens, berries, carrots, tomatoes, and citrus fruits contain compounds that support cellular health and may reduce inflammatory responses. These foods are not magic cures, but when consumed consistently, they create an internal environment that favors healing rather than irritation. Including a variety of colors on the plate often ensures a broader range of protective nutrients. Protein intake becomes especially important after 60 because muscle mass naturally declines with age. This process, known as sarcopenia, reduces joint stability if not addressed. Adequate protein from sources such as fish, eggs, legumes, yogurt, tofu, or lean poultry helps maintain and rebuild muscle tissue. Stronger muscles reduce the mechanical load placed on hip and knee joints. Without sufficient protein, even the best exercise routine cannot fully support muscle repair. Distributing protein evenly across meals helps optimize its absorption and effectiveness. Healthy fats also play a role in joint health. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in fatty fish like salmon and in seeds such as flax or chia, have been associated with anti-inflammatory benefits. Replacing trans fats and excessive saturated fats with healthier options supports cardiovascular health as well, which improves overall circulation. Better circulation enhances nutrient delivery to tissues surrounding the joints. Hydration is often overlooked, yet it is fundamental. Water contributes to the production of synovial fluid, which lubricates joints and reduces friction during movement. Even mild dehydration can increase the perception of stiffness. Drinking water consistently throughout the day supports joint comfort and overall metabolic function. Portion awareness is another key factor. Carrying excess body weight significantly increases the load on weight-bearing joints. For every additional pound of body weight, the knees may experience several pounds of added force during walking. Gradual, sustainable weight management through balanced eating can dramatically reduce joint stress without extreme dieting. Small changes, maintained consistently, often produce the most lasting results. A simple anti-inflammatory diet does not require rigid rules or complicated restrictions. It requires mindfulness, variety, and moderation. When combined with light exercise and restorative sleep, nourishing feed becomes part of a comprehensive strategy that supports joint comfort, enhances recovery, and strengthens the body from within, allowing hips and knees to function with greater ease and resilience over time. Lifestyle habits often determine whether osteoarthritis feels manageable or overwhelming after 60, because the joints do not exist in isolation from the rest of the body. Inflammation, muscle recovery, balance, circulation, and even pain perception are influenced by daily routines that may seem unrelated at first glance. Quality sleep, for example, is one of the most underestimated factors in joint health. During deep sleep, the body releases growth hormone and other restorative chemicals that support tissue repair. Inadequate sleep elevates stress hormones like cortisol, which can increase systemic inflammation and heighten sensitivity to pain. Establishing a calming evening routine, reducing screen exposure before bed, and maintaining consistent sleep times can gradually improve recovery and reduce morning stiffness. Regular walking in fresh air provides both mechanical and psychological benefits. Gentle walking stimulates circulation in the hips and knees, encouraging the flow of synovial fluid that nourishes cartilage. At the same time, exposure to sunlight helps regulate circadian rhythms and supports vitamin D production, which is important for bone strength. Even a short daily walk can improve mood by stimulating endorphin release, reducing stress, and combating the sedentary patterns that worsen joint stiffness. The key is pacing. Walking should feel steady and controlled rather than exhausting. Posture throughout the day quietly influences joint stress. Standing with knees slightly soft rather than locked reduces constant pressure on the joint surfaces. Sitting upright with hips evenly supported prevents asymmetrical loading that can aggravate discomfort. Small posture corrections repeated daily create cumulative benefits over months and years. These micro-adjustments are subtle, yet powerful. Social connection also plays a surprisingly important role. Loneliness and chronic stress increase inflammatory markers in the body. Engaging with family, friends, or community groups fosters emotional resilience and reduces stress-driven tension patterns that often manifest physically. Laughter and shared experiences stimulate positive neurochemical responses that influence how pain is perceived. A supported mind contributes to a supported body. Routine adds stability. Eating meals at consistent times, maintaining regular movement breaks, and dedicating specific moments for light stretching or breathing exercises signal predictability to the nervous system. Predictability reduces anxiety, and lower anxiety often correlates with reduced muscle guarding around painful joints. Gentle breathing practices can lower heart rate and calm the sympathetic nervous system, further decreasing stress-related inflammation. Avoiding long periods of uninterrupted sitting is equally important. Even standing for a few minutes every hour can prevent stiffness from accumulating. The body thrives on variation rather than prolonged stillness. Small, repeated interruptions to sedentary time preserve joint mobility and circulation. When sleep, sunlight, posture, connection, and routine align, they create a supportive framework around the hips and knees. These habits do not eliminate osteoarthritis, but they reduce the factors that intensify it. Over time, consistent lifestyle practices enhance recovery, stabilize mood, improve balance, and protect mobility, allowing older adults to experience greater comfort and confidence in daily movement. A positive, growth-focused mindset may be the most transformative element in managing osteoarthritis after 60. Because the way you think about aging directly influences how you move, how you care for yourself, and how consistently you follow healthy habits. The body listens to belief more than we often realize. When someone tells themselves that pain is proof of permanent decline, they tend to withdraw from activity. Movement decreases, muscles weaken, stiffness increases. The story becomes self-fulfilling. But when the narrative shifts toward growth, adaptation, and possibility, behavior changes. Effort returns. Consistency improves. Progress becomes visible. Aging is not a sudden collapse of ability. It is a gradual shift that requires adjustment. A growth mindset acknowledges limitations without surrendering to them. It replaces comparison with curiosity. Instead of asking, "Why can't I move like I did at 40?" the question becomes, "How can I move well today?" This subtle change transforms frustration into problem solving. It encourages experimentation with gentle exercises, mindful pacing, and better nutrition. It creates patience, which is essential because meaningful improvement in joint health happens gradually. Confidence also affects pain perception. Research in neuroscience shows that fear and anxiety amplify pain signals, while calmness and assurance can reduce them. When you approach movement with caution but not fear, the nervous system interprets activity as safe. Muscles remain less tense. Breathing stays steady. Joints experience smoother motion. Believing that improvement is possible encourages you to practice consistently, and consistency is what produces measurable change. Resilience grows through small victories. Standing up from a chair with less effort. Walking a little farther without discomfort. Sleeping more soundly after a day of balanced activity. Each improvement reinforces motivation. The brain thrives on progress. Celebrating these small gains strengthens neural pathways associated with reward and determination. Over time, these psychological reinforcements build momentum. Gratitude can also reshape physical experience. Appreciating what your body can still do shifts focus away from loss. Hips and knees that have carried you through decades deserve acknowledgement, not criticism. This attitude reduces internal tension and fosters self-compassion. Self-compassion encourages adherence to healthy routines because you act out of care rather than punishment. Social influence plays a role in mindset as well. Surrounding yourself with supportive individuals who value active aging reinforces positive expectations. Shared encouragement strengthens accountability. Observing others improve at similar ages challenges limiting beliefs. The realization that strength and balance can improve in the 7th or 8th decade of life expands perceived possibilities. Ultimately, a growth-focused mindset recognizes that the body remains adaptable far longer than society often suggests. Muscles respond to training at 60 and beyond. Balance improves with practice. Endurance increases gradually. The nervous system rewires itself with repetition. When you view aging as refinement rather than decline, daily actions align with that belief. You move with purpose. You nourish with intention. You rest with awareness. Over time, this mindset does not merely change how you feel about osteoarthritis. It reshapes how you experience your entire journey of aging, reinforcing strength, resilience, and the enduring capacity for improvement.